And we've seen this word, this phrase, Bekistra de Kuturi. And my mention is that it's like a bundle or something like that, a bundle of dinim. So he says, Behechel Klipas Noga. Now we talked about the Klipas Noga Shal Olam V'Hatzilus. So the Klipas Noga is the one that we're focusing on, is the Klipa Noga of Olam Hatzilus, the Kituri de Begon. He said, Niskasha Malachim. So I'm not sure how to pronounce this, so I'm going to go Az and Azel. I don't know if that's the right way to do this or not. Sheheba Bechinas Dinim Chazakim, which these two names, these two are the Indian of very hard dinim. B'tza'ako v'kitrov al briyas Adam, and what do? They cry out, they accuse and make accusations, criticisms about the creation of man. Adam asid lachto, because that's their argument that a man is going to sin. Tren mischavkan. V'cheim shnei malachim mechubarim zeh b'zeh, but they're two malachim, they're joined together. Kamo chibuk, like in a hug. V'inyan hu. Sheshnei malachim elu heim sod shnei mochim chachma chabibina. Dezer anpin de klipos noga. The Ratzilus and Nikim B'Shem B'nei Elohim Kamoshi is Boil El. Let me read it again for my own sake. He says the Indian that these two malachim, so is Az and Azul, let's say Heim Sod Shnei Mochim, those are the mochim that we talked about a little bit when we started, I guess, yesterday's year. He says that which represents the Chacham Abina of the Zer Anpin of the other side, of the Klipas Noga, not of the other side. He said the boundary side, which is a Klipas Noga, the Chatzilus, Hanikroim B'Shem B'nei Elohim, that previously we had used that phrase to discuss them, the B'nei Elohim, Kamotion is Bar Le'elek, we talked about. So since we understand that they go together, they're always Mechuber Zer B'Zer, but so Chibuk K'noida and hugging together. L'kach gam shnei malachim elu mechubarim b'zecha b'sod chibuk. So therefore, these malachim are like that. So he says that since we understand the concept of Chachma Bina, and they're together all the time, so we have the same thing on the other side. Elu mechubarim b'zecha b'sod chibuk, the fi shehem b'sod Chachma Bina ka'amor, because they're also a Chachma Bina. Chabur la'elu v'hidei rabalakim chaladocho b'az and Azkul. He said, they originally are agents that were in Olam Hatzila b'tzad Kedusha, on the side of Kedusha. So what is he saying? He says they're the Chochma Bina that was on the side of Kedusha. I'm not sure what he meant. But they go down. So since they're the ones. Now, there must be much more to it than just making a criticism, but he says, because of the accusation in regards to the Brias Adam, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so the Ma'atzel caused them to fall down, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mikdushasam, from their Kedusha. The yard of the Mata Mikadushas Atzilus, and they fell down below the Kedusha found in Atzilus. The Yarsu Afra, and they inherited the earth, which is what? Or dust. The Yarsha Bekom the Mata Benukva the Homarabba, which means in the deep depth of darkness. Rabba Sheba Olama Bria Hanikra Afar. Now, once again, coining another idea, he says the Nukva to the Homarabba, not just the concept of the Nukva to the Homarabba, he says Ba'olama Bria, because we're not in the Tzilas, they fell into Bria. Hanikra Afar, and that place in Bria is called Afar. So I'm just looking at it. Afar is okay. Going on. Bakro his chaver im benos Adam and himself benukva to the Homarabba. So in that the Homarabba, where they fell into this Afar, they're attracted to women. Im benos Adam. So these female aspects. V'heim klipos sheyesh b'chinas tuma b'tzad chelik karasha l'olam abriya. So these are malachim that are, what does he say? They are, klipos. Okay, they're klipos. They're false images that the beginning, which come out of the bechina of the tumah, the besad chelik raw, which is the bad part, that is the lower part, which I guess is called the big pit here. He says, Shal Olam Abriya, where you see that there's a mixture in Olam Abriya, Shal, in the Klipas Noga, where there's a mixture of good and bad. So he wants to say that in Olam Abriya there's a strong mixture there, and you could pull out the bad, and they pull out the bad. The Malachim elu chatu b'his chabrusa de b'nais Adam. So their sin was is that they joined themselves to these children of men, which are the klipas, which he said in Olam Abriya. Because that's what they chose. They wanted to be tying themselves into their taivas. The motion is boil as we talked about. Abdul Chulaka Tava the Hava Bahu, because there's a portion of goodness in the Klipas Noga. The Fichot Ibdu Chamlakim Elu as Chelik Hatov Shahoya Bechem Shahu Bechinas Hatov Shal Klipas Noga D'tzniuta, which is, as I said, it's really the aspect of the good part of the Klipas Noga in its Tzniuta. So he says, Va'oz, then Nitbo Itra the Bulmlo. So what does that mean? V'hine Chelik Hatov the Noga she'ibdecha b'nikra itra the Bulmlo. Now what does that phrase mean? He says that the good that they abandoned, that part is called the itra, the crown of Bulma. What Bulmlo? What is that? Shehi atara mitzada kedusha, which is a crown or a beginning place, I guess a nozzle or a fountain, come from the kedusha. But instead, instead of tying themselves onto the fount of kedusha, they get themselves crowned with the inyan of a novim, of grapes. Now what's that got to do with it? Shehu so because they're red. I guess they're red. Let me see what he says. He said because this is the kind of concept of tough dinim that are come for the dregs of the wine. In other words, the pasulas part. Part of the wine is possible. So therefore the wine is a good metaphor for the klipas noga, because part of it is good and the other part of it is bad. V'nimshka achra klipos, and they want to get into the dregs. V'inyan hu shor sheknikas az v'azl. He says who ba'oros hayotzecha b'shnecha akavayim. So he says the main thing over here is what the nice place that they suck from or they feed off of is the lights that come out of the heels of the feet. Of Leah, there's Leah Shehem Sod Anovim, which is the secret of grapes. Now, all of this I don't know, but he's telling me, Leah. We understand that the heels of Leah enter into the skull of Rachel, or it's the very bottom of Leah at any point from the top part. He said because the word Akev, the Akev is the gematria of Anovim. So he means the heel and the anovim the same thing. So I guess when he's talking about this, he's talking about the lower part of this klipa noga. And there's the concept of dinim, and there's azalkol. He said, and they fall into the depth of the klipas. So then the chitzonim are able to grab onto that lowest place of Leah, which is a very high place. Now Leah, where her feet are normally located, maybe he means to say that this is the area that from the chaza going upwards is the area of the bina of this area, or somehow it's the bria. The shmarim, and then comes out the shmarim shehem pasulas v'yayin akor. It's opaque wine that you can't. That's full of shmarim of mazon b'chitzonim, and that itself is the food the chitzonim want to eat. V'hainu b'chinas din kosher v'chazak. That's the concept of a tough din. Okay, we'll see you on the way back. Okay.